remember that we had an interview during your House of God the Most tour with Snow Sour, I think, a couple of years ago. And at that time you were telling me that you couldn't wait to begin to start another Slipknot record. So can you tell me about the process about...
I mean, what's there to tell? I mean, you know, November came around and, you know, it was already past time to start working on a new Slipknot record. So, you know, I sat in my garage every day and wrote arrangements until I had, you know, around 20 arrangements that, you know, I was sending off to like Clown, and we were bouncing back and forth, and, you know, it got to a point where we decided, okay, there's enough arrangements, let's get out to LA and start working on it. You know?
And how did you record your arrangements in your garage? Have you got a studio or?
No, I have a garage out behind my house, and in the garage there's like a small living room, and I just have my my MacBook computer, and then I have an Apogee Duet, and then basically I just use Pro Tools, Guitar Rig 5, Easy Drummer, and then I just built them off of that, and every once in a while I grab a software synth and put keyboards in if it needed it, but mostly just, you know, few guitar tracks and bass tracks. And
so you like technology added to...
It's a good tool for getting things out of your head and documenting them to, you know, so I don't forget them. I'm very forgetful, you know what I mean? So I can't just keep everything in my head and then regurgitate it, you know. I have to document it. So, you know, Pro Tools for me in the demo phase is a really good way for me to, you know, see where an arrangement's at, continue with that arrangement, and remember that arrangement, you know.
That is quite the opposite of your live rig, by the way, because you've got this vintage sounding in some kind of way, and you've got vintage.
I mean, demoing is totally a different animal than, like, say, studio work or live. You know, I mean, I'm a traditionalist when it comes to live sound and recording. To me, it's got to be a tube amp. You know, old microphones, microphone preamps. You know, Neves, APIs, all that type of stuff. And the same thing is true when it comes to playing live. You know, I mean, my rig is an orange head through a speaker, a 412 speaker cabinet, and a pedal board, and that's what I use. You know?
And a pedal board, because during the last interview you told me that you were curious about the XFX and you were some kind of way thinking about...
Yeah, and I used it, and that's a good tool too if you can't afford to, you know, if you can't afford to ship a bunch of gear around the world. It's you know, it's a good tool for that. But I used the XFX for a South American tour that I did, and I really didn't like it. You know, there's nothing that will ever replace a tube head, and you know, it's just the best, and there's a reason why that's the best. You know?
Okay, and about guitars, the last time I saw you, you were using the kind of, I think it was the last prototype of your new Fender Jetmaster, that now is actually the process is complete,
yep,
right?
Tough.
So can you tell us about what were you through to have finally the ultimate guitar?
What helped me get to that point?
Yeah, what did you wanted to have on the new guitar?
Well, the main thing with the Jazzmaster for me was the balance of it. You know, when I wasn't really into the guitar so much when Alex first sent me a Jazzmaster. You know, and I played around with it sitting down and stuff like that, but then we did pre-production, and I actually like put it on and wore it, and I can actually pull that guitar up and, you know, wear it a little bit higher, and it almost feels like you're sitting down while you're playing with that guitar. You know, it's so well balanced. And you know, since we already have the Telecaster and the Stratocaster out, I wanted to kind of take, you know, the slab body of the Telecaster, but then mix it with the compound radius of the Jazz or of the Stratocaster, and you know, kind of have the best of both worlds with those two guitars in one guitar, you know, and that's kind of what I think we achieved, you know. And to me, less is always more. That's why it's 2 pickups, 3-way selector, you know, 1 volume, no tone.
and it puts the Stratocaster and Telecaster to rest, or for example,
no, they still feel different. I mean, they're all different animals, you know. So just when I think I'm liking one guitar a lot more than the other one, I'll play one of the other guitars and go, oh yeah, that's why I love this guitar so much, you know. So I mean, they're all just, you know, there's just different, just a little bit different flavor to each one of them, you know. I wish it would make life easier.
Talking about your new record that I think has the most impressive and it's the best sounding guitar-wise record for Slipknot, have you tried something different compared to the past, or is just...
No, we just took a little bit more time, you know. Mick and I took a little extra time to get our guitar sounds. Rather than spending an hour or two on getting guitar sounds, we spent a day, you know what I mean? And we really got to refine the guitar sounds and see how they worked in the mix with all the rest of the instruments, and you know, everything coming together. When there's 9 people trying to fight for all that room, you know, with all the different frequencies, you have to balance what you want your guitar to sound like with what it can sound like. You know, it's 2 different things, because you might not be able to, you might have a guitar sound that you really love, but by the time it gets to the mix down, it's, you know, it's getting masked by bass frequencies, by a frequency in the drums, or something that Sid might do. So, you know, we kind of have to compromise a little bit on our guitar sounds in the studio so that we can find a place for it to fit in. You know?
And I know you're so critical about yourself and about your work. So I think I've read something where you say that there's always a period of time when you don't like the record you just did, or something like that.
Yeah.
Are we still in that phase for that one?
I don't know, because when we're done recording a record and after the mixing process, I never listen to it again. You know, so this album's a little bit different in that aspect, because I was so involved in the writing process and the recording process of it. I don't really have the same sort of feelings that I would. This is the deepest I've ever gone on a record, so I still haven't really listened to it since the mix down. But you know, I tend to rediscover things. Like I saw somebody made a video today from the movie Antichrist with Willem Dafoe. Somebody took the beginning of that movie and they put the music from Prelude 3.0 over the top of it. And then it made me go, wow, that's a great song. I forgot how awesome that song is, you know, and all the textures in it, and layers, and, you know, so I like to kind of forget about what we've done and then rediscover it later on, and, you know, try not to get stuck in the past with it, you know.
And talking about not being stuck in the past guitar-wise, is there a way you, I don't know, push yourself out of your comfort zone while writing music, or?
Writing music helps that, you know, I mean, and writing music not by myself in a room, coming up with arrangements of my own, but like, say, writing with another person, having them come up with an idea that I might have to try to figure out how to fit guitar around or within these ideas that somebody else has come up with. Because I'm not a technical guitar player by any means. I mean, I know 3-note per string scales and all that, how to move modes around, but I don't know what I'm doing or why I'm doing it. So when I write music with other people in that aspect, I have to kind of think outside of the box, and I think that helps you, you know, one, become a better guitar player and a better songwriter.
Is there something that you kind of listen to help this creative process that has been different between the other times?
I try not to let anything from the outside influence, and I don't listen to anything new anymore anyways. I still listen to Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and the Beatles.